The ranch slept under a sky heavy with stars, the kind of night that made loneliness feel louder. The lonely rancher stood by the window, listening to the wind scrape against the wooden walls, wondering how a man could own so much land yet feel so empty inside. He had waited years for companionship, years of hard labor, silent meals, and nights where the only warmth came from memories that refused to fade. When she arrived, the young bride with eyes full of fear and hope tangled together, he thought fate had finally remembered him. She stood there now, fragile and quiet, her hands folded as if she were holding her heart together. She had been raised to obey, to endure, to believe love would come after duty, but nothing prepared her for the sadness she felt, standing beside a man who looked strong on the outside and broken within. He spoke to her softly, not with hunger, but with the weariness of a man who had lost too much. His voice trembled when he told her she was safe here, that he would never force her into anything she wasn't ready for. That kindness confused her more than cruelty ever could. She had expected command, expectation, maybe even cold authority. Instead, she found gentleness wrapped in sorrow. As the night deepened, silence grew between them, thick with unspoken longing. She wanted to comfort him, to erase the pain etched into his eyes, yet she was terrified of crossing a line she didn't understand. Her innocence was not just of the body, but of the heart. She did not know how love worked, only that it hurt to see him hurt. He sat beside her, leaving space between them as if afraid his sadness might stain her purity. He whispered about his past, about a woman he once loved who died waiting for him to return from a cattle drive, about promises broken not by betrayal but by fate. Each word felt like a confession he had carried alone for decades. Tears welled in her eyes as she listened. She had never known that men could ache this way, quietly, endlessly. In that moment, romance was not fire or passion, but two wounded souls sharing the same silence. She reached out, hesitated, then gently placed her hand over his. He flinched, not from fear, but from the shock of being touched with kindness. That touch changed everything and nothing at the same time. He wanted to pull her close, to forget the years, the losses, the loneliness. But his love was tangled with guilt. He believed she deserved joy, laughter, a future unshadowed by grief. She deserved someone young, someone whole. As the night stretched on, they lay side by side, not as lovers, but as to people afraid of what tomorrow might demand. Her breath was soft, unsure. His was heavy with regret. Somewhere between the quiet and the dark, feelings grew too large to contain. She whispered that she did not want to be alone either. He closed his eyes, knowing that wanting was not the same as deserving. Morning came with pale light and painful clarity. The rancher rose before dawn, standing over her as she slept, realizing that loving her meant letting her go. He left a letter, written with shaking hands, telling her she was free, that she could leave with the next wagon to town, that he would never chain her life to his sorrow. When she woke and found the bed empty, the silence crushed her. She ran outside, calling his name, but only the wind answered. Her heart broke in a way innocence never prepares you for. Love had touched her gently and then vanished. Years later, she would remember him as the man who taught her that love could be kind and painful at the same time. And he would remain on the ranch, alone again, believing that true love sometimes means choosing heartbreak over happiness. If this romantic and sad story moved you, if you felt the silence, the sacrifice, and the quiet love between two broken souls, then subscribe to the channel. More emotional stories like this are coming, stories about love, loss, and the moments that stay with us forever.